So many guys believe attracting women is such a difficult thing to do, that you have to be maxed out in all type of stats, looks, height, money. But the truth is, being 10% body fat and below, even 11%, 12% body fat and below, can be such a big difference and can make such a big difference in your dating life and how easy it is for you to attract women. Like the title says, women adore 10% body fat. Now, for those of you that are on social media and have seen, guys making thirst traps and whatnot, I kind of do it myself, to be fair. A common denominator in all those videos that I see is that guy is lean. And if he's showing his physique and the women are adoring the physique, they're loving the physique that they've seen on TikTok or Instagram, then the guy is always lean. You won't see a guy posting a fat physique and girls are, creaming over it, like they do a lean physique. Now, for example, this video right here, I don't have a lot of muscle, right? This got 2 million views, right? In fact, I'm skinny. I'm pretty skinny, right? And honestly, what body fat am I there? 12%, 11%? I'd say probably like 11% there, right? That's not crazy lean. Now, if I was 9%, I probably would have got 10 million views, right? But I got 2 million views and I got, hundreds of DMs, thousands of comments, so many followers, so many likes, and girls DMing me, glazing me, saying all sorts of crazy stuff, right? And I've shown my friends this, and obviously they've seen it, they looked at the comments and whatnot, and they get jealous, right? They, maybe they don't get jealous, they get happy for me. They want to experience the same thing, right? I'm not sure that's jealousy, they just want to experience that as well. And you can too, right? It's not very difficult. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get across is being lean, just lean alone can do so much wonders. Honestly, you can't be obviously you can't be anorexically skinny, because that's just gonna look disgusting, right? You have to have some decent shape about you, right? You have to be hitting the gym, but that doesn't take very long to acquire in the gym. I mean, obviously it depends what you're starting from, but for big guys, fatter guys, right? All you have to do is cut. You're already gonna have some muscle under there. Now, you want to attract women, of course you do. You go to the gym mostly to attract women. Now, of course, there's other factors. You want to be healthy. You want to look good for yourself, but you obviously want to look good for women. And don't throw cope at me and just lies and say, nah, it's for myself, not for women at all, bro. It's for women, unless you're gay, right? And if you're gay, then it's for men, right? It's for attracting people 90% of the time. I'll be honest, my main motivation to go to the gym, complete truth, I'd say 78% of my motivation to go to the gym because I want a big booty Latina, bro. That's why. No, seriously, it's because I want to attract women, right? That's why I post the TikToks. That's why, you dress nice when you go, that's why you get haircuts, all sorts. So just it's the primal desire to have sex, the primal desire to attract women is such a motivating factor in why men do so many things, and especially go to the gym, right? So I see a lot of men, going to the gym and trying so hard in the gym, but with diet and food, they just throw it away, right? They just eat whatever and say, I'm getting big, women love this, right? Yeah, some women love a big guy, but they don't want a fat guy, right? You need to be lean. You need to watch what you're eating. You need to be getting that deficit. You need to be tracking your calories, because that will make all the difference. Now, I'm willing to argue, and I back myself 100% in this argument, that getting lean, right, and getting leaner will do way, way, way more for you in terms of attracting women than getting bigger will and getting more muscle. Now, in fact, that's a fact. I don't care. That's a fact. In the majority of women, they will want the leaner guy over the fat guy. They want the skinnier, leaner, athletic physique, right? Nice shape, the vascular physique over the big, a lot of muscle, but 18% body fat, 15% body fat. That's a fact. Women want the leaner physique. Majority of the time, right? Obviously, some women, anomalies, right? But you get what I'm saying. And I think, to be honest, deep down, every guy knows this. Most guys know this, right? That women want the lean physique. But I think, you kind of yourself kind of throws cope at yourself. Because you don't want to, cut out those donuts or cut out those Oreos or chips you're eating, right? Or the pizza or the burgers, fast food, takeaway, etc., etc. Because you enjoy it, right? I enjoy it, right? I love, bro, give me a fat, juicy burger, a nice pepperoni, pineapple, and ham pizza. Oh, but I'll tear it up, right? But, well, I won't anymore, but if it didn't make me fat, I would have teared it up, right? Alright, what I'm trying to say, right, with all this waffling, is that I love those foods as well, right? They're so tasty, but the knockoff you get from that, right? The getting fat, the acne, everything you get, the dandruff, because your skin's acted up, everything. It's just not worth it, right? It's not worth it for that 15 minutes of pleasure of eating, or 20 minutes of pleasure, and then you wake up the next morning and you feel like shit, you look like shit, you're getting fatter, you're bloated, all this stuff you don't want to have, right? Compared to, eating, also very tasty, right? Beef, eggs, potatoes, right? Also, you can't eat loads of it because you can get fat again, but beef, eggs, potatoes, you're going to be so much healthier, you're going to look so much healthier, you're going to look so much better, you're going to feel so much better, the list goes on and on, right? So much stuff. You're going to get bigger, longer, harder erections, right? No, but that's true, by the way, but seriously, you're going to, everything about your health, physically and mentally, is going to be so much better. You're going to be sharper, you're not going to have brain fog, all right? Now, I'm, getting all this scientific stuff, but the main thing is you're not going to get as fat, right? Also, it makes it easier, right? Now, you can eat 2,200 calories of pizza and donuts and still be in a deficit, right? If your maintenance is above 2,200 calories. But that is going to be so hard to do because of how calorie dense those processed foods are and how they're mechanically engineered, if that's the right term, to make you more hungry, right? Compared to a satiating, high protein, single ingredient whole food like, steak or eggs or potatoes, right? So just make it easier on yourself, right? Eat the whole food. It's not like it's disgusting. It's tasty. It's nice, bro. I enjoy eating it, not because I feel better after I've eaten it and I know I've done something good for my body, but it tastes good, right? And I don't need to slap a bunch of seasoning on it. For example, after this video, I've been fasting up until now. It's like 1 p.m. But after this video, I'm gonna be eating beef eggs, a bowl of beef and eggs, bro. I already have some boiled eggs in the fridge. But I'm gonna fry up some beef, 5% beef, right? So it's not like a bunch of fat and it's not really tasty. Salt on there, eggs, I'm sorted. I don't need anything else, right? That's really tasty for me. Especially now, I've been fasting in the morning, right? So I can delay my first meal. So, this is experienced lean stuff, getting lean stuff, but waiting as long as possible before eating my first meal, So, it shortens the amount of time I have in the day before I go to sleep, right? To eat. So, I'm not gonna eat right before bed, and I'm not gonna eat a couple hours after I wake up. So that window of eating is short, and I eat a big meal here, 1,000 calories or so. I won't be hungry for another 4 or 5 hours, and then I have my second meal and another 1,000 calories or 1,200, and I'm at 2,200 calories for the day. I'm full, I'm good, and all it takes is a little bit of discipline in the morning. In the morning, first 4 or 5 hours don't eat. So I woke up at 9, it's 1 p.m. Holy maths. Is that 4 hours? Yeah. So yeah, that little bit of discipline in the morning makes all the difference for the day. And I can't look in the cupboard what some members in the family are eating. Some processed junk or whatever, some bread with seed oil in it, that white bread. So good, but I just focus on my own stuff, and I have to remember women adore 10% body fat. So I need to get to that body fat, get lower than that body fat, around 10% now, I'd say. I'm sitting down, maybe I'm not 10%. Maybe I'm like around 11%, right? But I still have some percentages to cut off, and I'm gonna maintain probably 9%, hopefully, if I can. No, hopefully if I can, am I a pussy? I'm gonna maintain 9%, maybe even lower, but I don't wanna mess with my hormone and stuff when you get too low, and I wanna be able to still build muscle, so. But the point is, women like sex lean men, so I'm gonna get sexy and lean so I can attract a bunch of women, right, and just do what I want with them. And guys, your so-called friends might be like, when you bring your beef and eggs and potatoes lunch to work, they'll be like, and they have their little sandwich and their I don't know, pack of nuts thinking they're well healthy. They'll be saying, what are you doing, mate? Like, what cholesterol, so much cholesterol in there, yeah. All right, mate, you keep eating that, lad. And meanwhile, that guy's 25% body fat, gets no girls, got nothing going for him, and well, he might have, he gets no girls, right? I just want to really express how significant it is to be, 10% and lower body fat, because women adore it, women love it, women fiend for it, they want some of that, right? You know, how often do you see someone that's in nice shape, right, and is, you know, sub 10%, bro? Even in the gym, you don't see that very often, right? And that's in the gym. Imagine just outside in the world, right, when most people don't even go gym, by the way. I think it's like less than 2% of the population goes to the gym. So, you know, when you have your shirt off and it's summer and you're 9% body fat and you're shredded, those women will not be able to take their eyes off you. I promise you that. You don't even have to have a sexy... And the thing is, right, I was about to say you don't even have to have a sexy face, but your face is going to look good, better than it is now anyways, when you get that lean, right? You're going to have a sharp jawline, you're going to have a defined face, and, you know, sometimes genetics can let certain men down. Their face is not that appealing, but no excuses, right? You get that lean, you know, your face, all right, it's going to bring your points down, fine, but you're still going to be an attractive person. You're still going to be more attractive than the majority of people, right? And you're going to get more girls than the majority of people. So that's already a win, right? You don't have to, you know, think, okay, I'm cooked, you know, I have a bad face, whatever. No, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, give me a... Nah, bro, but... I'm waffling again. But getting lean is just going to fix all your problems, right? Getting lean is going to fix all your problems, right? You're broke, you're going to get lean, mate, you'll make money, you know. But yeah, let me just tell you a little story, right? And if, you know, it might get a bit explicit, but I hope YouTube will allow it. But I was in Costa Brava in the summer. I'm going again this summer, but I don't know why I said that. But I was in Costa Brava in the summer, and I was in the hotel and I was walking by the pool, and there was this one Hungarian girl that, you know, we'll get into later. One Hungarian girl that kept staring at me every time I walked past, and we were just staring at each other, right? So, you know, a couple of rounds of walking past each other, yeah, it's game over, right, already. She can see my shredded 6-pack going on 8-pack abs, right? So it was a dinner later. You know, I'm actually dressed up this time, but she knows what I've got under the shirt, right? I walk past her. Do you speak English, mate? Do you speak English? Anyways, long story short, half an hour later, my cock's in my mouth, right? And the thing is, right, I don't know if my face is that attractive, but if it is, right, it's because I'm lean, right? And I'm getting leaner and I'm gonna become more attractive. But I guarantee you, if I was fat, or even not, I think I must have been around 10% body fat at that holiday, maybe 11%. I put a picture up now. But if I was another 3-4%, I don't think my cock would have been in her mouth, right? Maybe it would have, but it would have been a bit harder, right? Maybe I would have to, you know, talk some immaculate game, but I didn't have to. Mate, do you speak English? All right, give me your Instagram, I'll text you later. You know, and then the story ends there, mate. I mean, you know, it ends a bit later, but you get what I'm trying to say. And, you know, that happened a couple of times at holiday with different women. And guys might think I'm lying, right? No way, it's that easy. Bro, it's that easy. If you get lean once in your life, you will not look back. You will not look back. My big brother used to be, I don't know, he must have been 15% body fat. And he's still got some women, but the difference from that to like 10% what it is now, and just from what he's told me as well and what I've seen, bro, I don't even want to, I'm just getting jealous, bro. I don't even want to know what else he's been up to, like, at that body fat, right? It's so easy for him. It's so easy for me, right? And he's got a lot more muscle than me, and I think he's leaner than me as well, so, you know, he just mogs the shit out of me, but I still get a lot of women, right? So, and also, I'm waffling again, but also, but women, like, for example, when I'm talking to women or whatever, sometimes they ask me, like, you know, what's your body count? What's your body count? I'll tell them I'm a virgin. They'll be like, what? No way. And straight away, yeah, that's it, bro. It's game over. They think I'm that sexy. It's impossible for me to not have twanged, to not have chopped, to not have had sex, all right, with a bunch of women. And, you know, they'd be right, you know. It's pretty hard not to when you're this lean, when you're this good looking, and, you know, what can I say, you know, basically they know women are attracted to me because they're attracted to me and they know I'm a good looking guy, right? So, you know, quite a bit of waffle in this video, but you get the point I'm trying to get across. I have a couple more stories, which I won't get into. I need to save them for later videos, but just trust me, right? And try it yourself. Get to 10% body fat, right? Let's say you're at 18% body fat. Get to 12% body fat and just analyze the difference. Just look at women, right, and see if they're looking back at you, right? Especially if you shirtless on holiday and stuff. Oh, come on, they're gonna be staring, right? And then 10% body fat and lower, then it's like, every woman is a bit intrigued, you know, they want to see what's going on. You know, you're not going to attract every single woman in the world, obviously. Maybe I made it sound like that, but you're going to attract more, right? You're going to attract a lot more, and that's what you want. That's what we need, you know, to just, you know, satisfy our soul, you know, sometimes. So, yeah, get lean.